What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Ron back with another video. Before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe, and all that good jazz. Today I'm going to be reacting to a Tate speech interview with one of the Tate brothers, Tristan Tate, talking to a woman that's in the States, because you know they stay over in Romania for obvious reasons, and you're definitely going to see why here when you see this interview. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Time with him, I mean, we loved each other and everything. I just think that it came to a point where he's like, okay, like I need to have kids, and I need someone to settle down with. I'm like, oh, no. I'm not there yet, like I still have a lot in me.
But can I ask why? Because a 10-year age gap, to me, that would be ideal. If I was looking for a woman to settle down with, I'm 32. By the time I get to 33, 34, I'd like a woman about 10 years younger than me to settle down with. Why do you think that's not a good match or a good idea right now?
My early 20s was way too young. I mean, gosh, I can't even take care of myself, let alone take care of somebody else. I just wasn't at a spot, and I still am not at a spot where I can settle down and like get married. Like I like my personal space respected, and I just like to finish a couple things in my life before I, get the ball rolling in marriage and whatnot. Like my ideal age would be my late 20s, early 30s to get married. And I think that comes with like here, the way lifestyle is. I know in Europe, like people get married a lot younger, and they decide to have kids a lot younger and whatnot. But here, and I'm sure you know this, I mean, you were born here. Early 30s is like typically when you get married and you have children. So that's like my ideal timeline.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem. That timeline is not working. Because you're seeing a lot of women that age, they are like unhappy because they can't find anybody, because the guys that they want are checking for the 20-somethings. Like, women need to pay attention to their bodies and biology. Like, when ladies, you putting yourself at risk when you try to have kids that late. It's really best for women to have kids in their 20s. That's like like me personally, if I had a daughter, I would tell her, you want to get married and start having children between the ages of 23, 24 up to about 27, 28. Somewhere in that range. You want to get all that done before you hit 30. Because that'll maximize her chances of being in the best health during and afterwards. Just from a biological standpoint, you know what I mean? Just from the little bit that I've learned in this space, as far as the female anatomy, and how birth and when geriatric pregnancy is and all that. That's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue, man. I know I just kind of schooled y'all a little bit, but that's something women really do need to know.
I don't know. In my opinion, I think the American way is a little bit. It is too late for women. I know, I'll be honest. I think it is too late for women in the United States. I meet women here who are, I don't know, 19, 20, and I say, oh, what do you want to do with your life? And they'll say something that American women detest. They'll be like, oh, I want to get married and have children, which I think is a beautiful, wonderful goal for life, for young women to want to be. If they want to get married and have a beautiful family, I don't see anything wrong with that. Whereas when I speak to people like my sister, who never left the United States, she's your age, lives in America. She's a lawyer. They're older than me, a little bit older than you. I think she's a lawyer, actually. But when I tell her things like that, she's like, oh.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So she'll be like, oh, that's wrong. Women should women should want a career, and women should want this.
Yes, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Make something of yourself. I just can't stay in the house and do the cooking and cleaning. Like it drives me nuts. Like I need to have something of my own and build myself, because at that point I feel like I'm a submissive partner depending on somebody else, and I can't do that.
I mean, now you see his facial reaction when she said that. You see how she used that It is a submissive partner. What's wrong with being submissive to your partner? He's gonna want you to be submissive to him even if you are a career woman. But most career women can't turn it off and on. You should never have to turn it off and on. That's the problem. Like, here's the thing. I think one of the things that women get misconstrued about this is that they think that men just want women that don't know no better and they just sit in the house, cook and clean and watch kids. Like, no. It's not so much that, I mean, here's the thing. It's like this. A woman making something of herself isn't the issue. But I think what he's trying to get at is pretty much that you need to make it line up to where if you want to have a husband and a family, you need to have your ducks in a row so that way you can maximize your chances of getting the outcome that you want. That way you don't end up in your 30s and 40s calling Kevin Samuels over here saying, I'm looking for a high value man. I think that's what he's trying to get at.
But my point is this. I was recently at my grandmother's birthday. She was in Alabama. She was 19 years old. This was 1 year ago. She was turning 19. So I flew all the way from Romania, changed in London to Atlanta, and I rented a car and drove all the way to some redneck town in the middle of Alabama to see my grandma. She hadn't seen me in like 10 years. So when I got there, so typically in the United States, this whole let's get married at 30 and have kids after our career, this is new. This wasn't the United States of the 1940s and 60s. It really wasn't. So my grandmother, I was standing around this room. She had 9 kids, about 30 grandkids, and another 15 great-grandkids, and 1 or 2 great-great-grandkids in this massive room full of people.
Wow.
And I was standing around and everyone was, hugging her and telling stories about her and telling her these beautiful things. And I thought, this is, to me, that's a woman's life fulfilled, more so than a woman who, worked in this career or that career. I don't even know what job my grandma ever did. I don't even know what career she ever had. But there were no mentions of it come the end of her life when we were in that big room full of people. She was just looking around at all the life that she created, and she had the biggest smile on her face I can ever remember seeing any woman have. And I treat women very nicely, so that's a very big that's a very big compliment. So I think that this idea, certainly in the minds of Western women, and you are for all intents and purposes an American woman, I just don't think it's that beneficial to women or men or to anything or anybody.
And he's right. It really isn't. It really isn't. No, it's funny, man. The story that he mentioned about his grandmother. When I think about it now, man, like growing up, I don't remember what either of my grandmothers did for work. I just remember them being in the house all the time. And it seemed like they was always in front of the TV or they was in the kitchen cooking. I don't know, it's weird, bro. It just go to show you like how much times has changed. And keep in mind, I'm 36, you know what I mean? I'm about to be 37 in a couple weeks. But, I mean, wow. Damn, I never thought about that, though. Like, I'm like, do y'all remember, anybody who's watching, like, do y'all remember, like, what y'all grandmothers did for work? Because I don't. I just remember them being in the house cooking all the time. You know what I mean? Or just in the house chilling, like. I don't know, it's weird. I never thought about that. But yeah, he's 100% right. I mean, it's really not beneficial to either gender, especially to women. And you seeing it. If you ask me, I think it's one of the main reasons why Kevin Samuels is blowing up the way he does. Because if you really look If you pay attention to the women that call him, a lot of those women tend to fall under that age range. That's why he calls it the danger zone, that 27 to 35. So doesn't surprise me. The girl is from here. He said he got a sister over here and she thinks just like her. And it's weird because where he's staying at, the women are barely over 18 and all they want to do is get married and have children. And then women from over here are wondering why men are leaving the country to get wives. I don't know, sound like a better deal to me. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments as well, man. And please like, subscribe, all that good jazz. Catch you in the next video. Deuces.